All right, so the last step is creating our own custom pattern files, our own custom patterns in Revit. And so where we're going to do that is we need a third-party plugin in order to do that. My favorite is this handy plugin called PyRevit. I'll include a link to it in case you'd like to download it. It's super simple, very lightweight, takes a couple seconds to load when you start Revit. But it has all these handy tools. I'm not going to go over all of them, but there's a lot of cool stuff kind of buried in here in this PyRevit tab once you install it. The one you're worried about here for this conversation is this make pattern. So it'll give you kind of like a rundown of how to sort of do this. I'm going to give you a walkthrough here. So the first thing before we start this command is we need to actually have the lines drawn that we want to repeat in order to make the pattern. So I'm going to go make a detail line, cancel out of here, and I'm just going to make it 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. Pretty easy. Sorry. And let's make these lines a little smaller so we can see them more easily. I'm going to make some more detail lines. Let's make this DS2. It's a little much. Alright. So maybe we want this to have a little crosshatch. Like that. Okay. So the thing you have to keep in mind is this needs to sort of repeat, or maybe it doesn't, but usually you're going to want it to kind of repeat seamlessly. So what I like to do in order to check that is to grab the items inside of here and use the array command. Start here, go to here, maybe make like 5 of them. Make sure you have second selected so it'll sort of array past it. So that's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to grab this guy, and actually I'm just going to grab all these and this one. Let's see if this works. It's kind of 50-50 that this works out. Okay, so what we want to do here is hop into here and then go deeper into the group in order to edit this group. And I'm going to align these items like so. So let's finish that and see what we get. Okay, it's starting to look pretty good. This one kind of ends up floating in space. So we need to copy another one of these, maybe like over here. Let's try that out. Getting closer. Oops. So this is a bit of a kind of inexact science. Let's not be too precious about it. So, if you're really making a pattern that you're going to use a lot, take the time to really make sure that these things line up. Yeah, I want to take that. I want to move it to there. Right there. So you want to make sure that your lines all kind of contact the outside edge so that they'll be pretty much continuous. All right, that's why we're getting that gap there. Let's finish that and see what we get there. It's looking pretty good. Looks like this one kind of got messed up. Let's try that out. There we go. That looks pretty good. Just aesthetically, I don't want that to go there. Let's try that out. Sure. Yeah. So there's a pattern that we can kind of use, right? So we're going to go in here. We're going to grab the end result of what we finished. Control C to copy it and cancel out of all that. We're going to trash the original stuff, and we're going to paste this up into here. So that's kind of step one, is to just draw the lines that you're going to want to create a pattern from. So this is what we're going to kind of end up with once we're all said and done. The next thing we're going to do is go into PyRevit and go to Make Pattern. It's going to ask us what the pattern name is, and I'm just going to say Sean's pattern. Oops. Okay. We're going to make this one as a detail pattern. We could do a model pattern though as well. Let's just do a model pattern and just see. And then we don't need to have this checked. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. So before you initiate this, you see it's not letting me do create pattern. I have to actually select the information I want to make the pattern out of first. So let's try again. Grab that stuff, not the lines bounding it, just the inside lines. Make pattern. There we go, now I have the create pattern button. So Sean's pattern. It's going to ask you, click the bottom left corner, that's this one. Click the top right corner, that's this one. Great, it made my pattern for me. So then the last step is going to be to use the filled region tool, FR, and type, duplicate Sean's pattern, go in here, go into model, go down to Sean's pattern where I made it, very nice, there it is. Say OK, and OK, and make that bad boy. There we go. I just made myself my own little custom pattern. And you can see that here's this little funky kind of break. I clearly did not have that go all the way to the edge, which I should have done. And you can kind of read those little breaks as they go across the screen there. So that's something I would need to fix up. So in order to fix that, I would have to kind of go in here and find where that break is coming from. One of these lines is clearly not going to the edge. And sometimes you have to, turn thin lines off or thick lines. And find it. Which one? Yeah, there it is right there. That's the culprit, right? So that one wasn't going all the way to the edge. So we would just need to reinitiate the filled region or the make pattern command and just overwrite that one. And as soon as you do, it should fix it automatically. And you're good to go. And then I guess the last step would be to make a floor. Oops, sorry. There we go. So we're going to just make a floor, finish that up, go in here and edit this type, go into the structure. We want to change the material from, so we're still going to keep the cherry material, but instead of it having this Flemish bond, we're going to switch it to a model pattern, and we're going to go to Sean's pattern. There we go. Apply and OK, and OK. And then again, we'll have to go out to, I think we had that sort of funky view on, but there you go. That's kind of got that looking pretty good. So I think that looks nice, and you can see now, I'm realizing what was happening before in our previous tutorial when we were rotating, you can kind of see the pattern sort of twist with it. That was because it was a detail pattern. When it's a model pattern, you're applying this directly here, and it's exactly what we want to see. I guess the last thing you guys can keep in mind is you can actually, especially with model patterns, you can rotate them. So you can see here, I can grab these edges. I can actually change the pattern itself just by rotating things. I can align things to an edge. So let's say I want to grab this line and align that there. I can do that. And so you kind of have a lot of flexibility to sort of change this information. Now you're not really going to be able to change the scale very easily. That's not what this is for. It's just for orientation. If you needed to change the scale, the best place you could probably do that would be by making a new pattern and renaming it something new. So again, you're going to want, if you're making a pattern of your own, I would want to call this, running tile, 6-inch, 3-inch or something, just to give a feel for what it is and make it clear that this is designed to be a model pattern whose scale doesn't really change in the model.